run and Tori Edwards each with a home run. Tori Edwards, her third grand slam on the season.
And Sydney Berzon is looking on as Sam Gress right now in control of this disease and trying to combat and fight it as best as possible, as that changeup making Daniel put contact to the ball, but right back to Gress at a 1-2-3 inning. The Tigers in that series history with a 6-0 win, and she utilized the transfer portal, brought over 6 players with her from her previous stop at Charlotte. Added some other pieces like Quincy. The Tigers bullpen sees some activity.
Ashley Vallejo and Tatum Clopton out there getting loose in that LSU bullpen.
Shelton on the ground to Sierra Daniel, bobbled it for a second, brings Edwards off the base. And 3 errors on the season, at times a season high, as Coffey bobbles that one, but she is right in the right place and tags third to get the force out.
I'm wondering if it's the combination of her from Berzon this year was being able to get herself out of some of these big moments in ball games.
This one hit into center field, line drive to Lassiter. And 2 down. Well, our first action, or is in action today, LSU will be right after that. As Coffey handles it and gets out of the inning. So a couple of runners left on base, but the defense for the Tigers sure is up and gets it.
Good battle going on between South Carolina and Duke right now.
And a nice way to start it off for LSU here as Savannah Bedell gets the first hit of the ball game.
Bedell had a
and delivers the pitch. That one sharply hit backhand, couldn't be brought in by Blankenship, and that's going to bring home Bedell, and it's evened up at 1 apiece.
She has so much power when she's moving through the batter's box. Hits this one right on the money. Up and outside, probably would have been called a ball. That's not a bad location for this pitch, running away from her barrel, but her eyes are on that pitch the entire time. Hits it so hard right to Brooke Blankenship at shortstop. Tries to go for that backhand, but it's that mid-hop. She gets caught in between, and LSU is able to tie up the ball game.
To third in our first AB. First pitch swinging, and now pops out to third. The NCAA Women's Basketball Champion. The team responded in a resounding way to get the win, as that one is lined sharply to third, and right in the right position was Carly Shelton at second base to end the inning.
Berzon, where she was falling behind, 2-1, 2-0.
And that one smacked for a single into right field on that 0-2 pitch from Berzon. So Abigail Knight aboard with the leadoff swing into this weekend. Kind of halfway swing, and Coffey can't handle that one. Just went up and went down under the glove, and now the 4th miscue on the infield. The 1-2 offering. And is successful in doing so, as hit opposite to the first baseman Edwards, and the runners move over to, there's a senior out of Lakewood, California. And Berzon is able to get the strikeout. She went down for that one.
Went back with that high, get herself out of jams with big strikeouts just like that one.
This one put in the air by Lilio, and that ends the inning and the threat from South Carolina. We'll hear from the LSU head coach. Wearing teal uniforms on one weekend to unite, to bring awareness, and Madison among the conversations that disease is referred to. So if you see problems persist, make sure you consult with your doctor. Opposite field fly ball and allowed out from Mackenzie Rudity. And Another strikeout for Leno and for Sam Gress, as that ends the 4th inning. A 9 with LSU. We're just kind of waiting in the dugout, figuring out how we would proceed with last night, as that one hung up in the air. High fly ball.
Good swing by Carly Shelton. She might not have gotten the result that she wanted, but she looked right from the beginning of that ball game with that 3-run home run.
And how about Berzon getting Rhodey? The check swing, she commits. She readies for the pitch. And gets Chansey swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts. 1, 2, 3 inning. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Tigers. And the check swing from Sierra Daniel, and she's retired. The 1-3 put out. Well, taking a look as Savannah Bedell sends this one into the outfield and over the wall. Home run! Left center for Savannah Bedell. And that gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead off the solo shot. Her first of the season.
Talking earlier just how close Savannah Bedell was to driving the ball out of the ballpark back on Friday night. This pitch a little bit on the outside part of the plate, but she times it up so well. Drives it out to that left center gap, and that ball just keeps on carrying out beyond that left field wall for Savannah Bedell's first career.
We heard Coach talk about the way she is a competitor in the circle and coming right back and getting the strikeout. And Coffey lifts this one into left field, but right underneath it is Sellers. And that's the 3rd out of the inning.
Changeup going for a strike, and then she's able to go back to that drop ball when she needs it.
Winters hits it into shallow right. And she's retired. What a diving grab by Avery Hodge, or web gym. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
How about this play by Avery Hodge? This one hits so hard off of the bat of Abigail Knight. Takes a couple of steps to her right, lays it all out on the line, parallel to the ground, and robs Abigail Knight of her second base hit of the ball game with that phenomenal defensive play.
They are 11th in the country, and they go and face off against Texas Tech and win that series, right?
Nothing like building your schedule when you've got an off weekend in the SEC. You go ahead and
Winners are 15 straight, 10 wins against top 25 opponents. And right back to Berzon, barely has to move the 1-3 put out, and that ends the inning. Hey!
Second to make sure it's called a ball.
And that gets the strikeout of Lassiter.
Look for the pitchers to have to go up against.
High chopper over the glove of Emily Chansey.
And my next point was going to be swing adjustability, and that's a pitch that's going to be called a ball. It's practically rolling on the ground, and yet that barrel is staying on the ball for an incredibly long time.
Woo! And that one is lasered into left. To your point, Madison, it just hits different.
And she opened up that front side. They call pitches depending on the shift, and she said, not necessarily. We like to go right at them with the same game plan.
Rudy pops this one up into foul territory, giving chase, and Chansey comes up with it. So big out number 2 here. And this one jam popped up on the infield. And that ends the inning. Well, South
slow off, speeds outside, working the drop balls hard on the inside.
And Flint puts this one in the air, giving chase, and Jaden Leno is under it for the first out. The payoff. Lilio, good strike of this one into the right center gap, and Lilio going for two, and she's safe. So the one-out double for Quincy Lilio.
Her 10th double so far this season. This is a changeup that's let up in the zone just a bit, and a 2-strike count. You see how she's on time for this one yet again, but she's got her eyes on this ball out in right field the entire time, and she decides early that she's going to go ahead and try to move herself over.
Tigers, an arm that they can depend on and trust as Shelton knocks that one into the gap. We talked about her doubles, and that's going to tie up the ball game. The RBI tying double from Carly Shelton.
Back-to-back swings now we've seen from South Carolina, and they are going after these off-speed pitches. This is one of the off-speed rise balls working up and away to Carly Shelton, and she takes it and drives it the opposite way. Perfectly on time for that 57-mile-per-hour pitch. Driving it into that gap. And because there was a runner on, nobody's covering second base, so second is hers all the way.
And the golf ball into right field, and the go-ahead run for South Carolina. You saw the right fielder kind of stumble just a little bit. Foot got caught up.
And this is another swing on a changeup. Look at how low that she goes to get this changeup down in the dirt. Ella Chansey just dropping the barrel, drops it out into right field.
Charging in is Daniel from second, and that ends the inning. But not before South Carolina hangs two in the top half. That in for ball four. So a 4-pitch walk to lead off the bottom of the 7th to go. She represents the game-winning run, and that one pulled to the right side. She's 3 for 3 today. And now runners at the corners and no outs here. That's outside, and they say she does go around. Jose Chaparro over at third base. The pitch. And this one driven into left field, and Sierra Daniels going to tag up the RBI sacrifice fly, and it's even at 3-all. So Coffey delivers her second RBI of the game, and all the more important.
And even going back to Avery Hodges at bat, Sam Gress just continuing to work these pitches on the outside part of the plate, and Danica Coffey just goes with this pitch enough to lift it deep enough out into left field to allow Sierra Daniel to score on that sac fly out to left.
The pitch to Lassiter. And Lassiter pops it up on the infield, and we've got extra innings coming our way from Baton Rouge. Knotted at 3 apiece this 2017. And Abigail Knight sees that one drop. Knight, who's had some success, a couple of base hits here this afternoon.
And she was the one that hit that line drive to Avery Hodge, who made the phenomenal play. So again,
due to weather, so they opted to play a doubleheader as Natalie Heath is hit by the pitch. And so Heath, who's in some pain going down to first base, sac fly. The 0-2 to Brooke Blankenship. Puts that one on the ground, and it's in fair territory. And they're going to take another look at that potentially as Tori.
Ball was fair or foul. Call on the field is that it was a fair ball, and watching this in real time, I thought it was a fair ball. Let's see where it hits. Does it bounce over first base? Hard to tell from that angle. Looks like it goes over first base.
Let's get another look. Okay, where does the ball go over? It's still in fair
Still
territory.
fair there. When it bounces over there, to me it looks like it's still bouncing over the first base bag. And also important, too, what the call was on the field. So when they do go to video review, they're looking for that indisputable video evidence to change the call if necessary.
So the call remains. And so, again, the Gamecocks take the lead. The bunt laid down, sack bunt from Emily Vincent moves both runners now into scoring Friday. And do you think that arm may be beginning to tire a little bit as a 4-pitch walk?
Yeah.
Season high for pitches for Burzon, and Carly Shelton gets hit in the head. And with the bases loaded, that brings home another run. So a scary moment there for Shelton, and an unorthodox. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way from Burzon. And softly hit back to Burzon, gets the force out, makes the flip to home. And it's the second out of the inning. Heads up play.
That's the difference that changeup makes there, too. Instead of
and right back to Burzon, and she gets out of the inning. Gamecocks hang 2. They've got a 5-3 at multiple players above 400. And is caught looking outside part of the plate. Lexi Winters is pumped up behind the dish. And yet another big situation in her first season in the SEC, but that one was golfed into right center. Tori Edwards holds up, and a stand-up double. The rally crowd in the dugout for LSU. This one lifted into the air in center field. Edwards will look to tag up, but decides to stay at second. This one lifted into the air, and that does it. Sam Gress with an emphatic fist pump afterward. First win for South Carolina and Baton Rouge since March 30th, 2019. The fans in Columbia celebrating this one. The series evens at 1 apiece. One more on the way in what will be a terrific rubber match between the two. Our final score, 5-3 in extra innings. Up next, the NCAA Men's Hockey Championship continues with Penn State and UConn. For Madison Shipman, I'm Tiffany Green saying, we out from Baton Rouge.